communities. I have gotten on daily basis calls from fellow parliamentarians of Africa, in Africa, women connecting with me and telling me they are experiencing the same thing in their parliament, even as MPs, but that they can't speak up. And they say, Natasha, do this for us.
Senator Natasha exposed Akpabio on BBC today. One of the things she said there was a time Akpabio saw me. He said, with this your kind of waste, it's like you will have a very good movement on the bed. I would like to have a taste of it. Guys, please kindly patiently watch this video to the end. I'm also going to attach the short interview on Dutch TV to it. Please, as you watch, before you watch it, kindly give it a thumbs up and please share. In our words, a lot of women in politics are going through this thing and they can't speak out. Since the Nigerian government refused to do the needful, since the only thing they can do is to intimidate and oppress and silence citizens, now she's not going to, from different international platform to another international platform, speaking man up, by so doing, disgracing Nigeria. Will you blame her? Please like the video, please share, let the world see, and please don't forget to drop your opinion at the comment section.
There was another time he made a statement like, Natasha, your husband is really enjoying. It looks like you'll be able to make good movements with your waist.
So the Senate President said this?
He says that, yeah. It started in the year 2023 on the 8th of December. We were at his country home. He was taking me around his house. My husband was walking behind us. He held my hand. And then we got to this particular room where, when he noticed my husband was a few steps away, he then squeezed my hands in a very suggestive way. We're women, we know what it means when a man squeezes his hands, squeezes our hands in a suggestive way. And he went, I will make an opportunity for us to come here and have a good moment, along that line. And then I just took my hands off and I looked back. I saw my husband was near us. My husband looked at me as if he heard some part of that, but he wasn't so sure. So he looked at him as well. And then the Senate President, of course, sensing the awkward moment, now said, oh, there's a chapel over there as well. Let's go, let me show you the chapel. He had a chapel in his house. So we went there. So my husband asked me a few moments afterwards, what did he tell you? And I didn't want to cause any friction because we were very good friends. My husband respected him a whole lot. So I said, you know what, Natasha, hold this up, resist it. It's going to be fine. You can manage it. What I thought I was going to manage just didn't seem so. Episode after episode, moments after moment.
So it was multiple times?
Yeah, it was multiple times.
Did the Senate President ever make any sort of advances towards you in the chamber or in the Senate?
Yes, in front of senators. He's done that. There was a time I forgot to wear my ring. I rushed to work, forgetting to wear my ring. And there were about 5 senators there. And he was, oh, Natasha, you're not wearing your ring. Is this an invitation to treat? And then there was another time he made a statement like, Natasha, your husband is really enjoying. It looks like you'll be able to make good movements with your waist.
So the Senate President said this?
He says that, yeah. He makes such sexist statements and then they all laugh.
When the Senate President allegedly made this comment to you, there were other senators present?
Yeah. They said, in the Senate, we're all men. She should be used to this.
How did the other senators respond to that?
Just laugh. The culture of shaming a woman who dares speak of something that is like a taboo is real. And that is that culture we must break and shred.
So when you presented your petition for sexual harassment, it was dismissed by the Senate on procedural grounds. They said it was inadmissible because you signed it yourself. Were you aware that this was a requirement?
No. They said that I had no right to sign the petition myself. I am not supposed to sign my petition because a senator is receiving petitions from her or his constituents. But here, first time in the history of Nigeria, a senator is laying a sexual harassment petition seeking justice. When I submitted the petition on the 5th of March 2025, I was suspended the next day from the Nigerian Senate.
The Senate say that you were suspended for, quote, gross misconduct and unruly behavior, and not because you brought sexual harassment allegations against the Senate President. How would you respond to that?
When they say my suspension was as a result of gross misconduct, that is not true. We have seen senators shout, scream, use insultive words, fight, tear each other's clothes, but they were not suspended. So I believe also again that I am being victimized. My suspension is a means of silencing me. You see, in the Nigerian Senate, it operates like a court. Even the opposition have been silenced. You wonder, why is the Nigerian Senate not as vibrant as that of South Africa's or Kenya? I mean, there are other parliaments we see. There is this culture of fear.
Fear of who?
Fear of the institution, fear of the leadership, fear of the Senate president. I mean, if you confront the Senate president or if you express contrary views, yeah, you risk a chance of being stripped of your privileges. You will not speak. If you are a member of certain committees, like what happened to me, you will be removed. You will be sidelined of very important programs that you think could help project your own expertise. You will be cut off a lot of privileges. And that is undemocratic.
You've spoken about the intimidation that you faced and victim shaming. What kind of impact has all of this had on you?
People don't understand what it means to carry this. Maybe we don't talk about it enough in Nigeria, maybe in Africa. I just wanted a place where I would just work. I thought the worst was over. I thought the worst was over. But I guess for a woman, it's never really over, right? I should be seen as a colleague, a senator. I should be given my due respect, my rights in that space. But to have to be faced with that, I think it's wrong. But I'm glad, no matter what, I have the courage to speak up. And I believe what I've done will accord more women the courage to speak up.
Are you worried about your safety at all?
Of course I am. And one of the conditions attached to my suspension is withdrawing my security. If I'm going grocery shopping, if I'm taking my kid on a walk, because I have a 2-year-old, will I be killed? Will I be attacked? I have this just run through my head immediately.
I mean, the response to the allegation has been huge. Did you expect this? I mean, it's quite divided what the response has been. Did you foresee this type of outcome?
I focus on the positive statements and remarks that have come from the media. I appreciate the support I've gotten from Nigerians within the diaspora and even the international communities. I have gotten on a daily basis calls from fellow parliamentarians of Africa, in Africa, women connecting with me and telling me they are experiencing the same thing in their parliament, even as MPs, but that they can't speak up. And they say, Natasha, do this for us.
And data that I have been tapped, I've had to deal with.
And can you explain to us what Senate authorities told you about why they were suspending you?
They summed it up to say I was suspended for gross misconduct as against my allegation of sexual harassment, but I believe that I was suspended to silence me from speaking forth, more like punishing me and setting an example so that no other woman would dare speak on such things, especially against powerful men. So they say I was suspended for gross misconduct, and I ask, what exactly amounts to the gross misconduct? Was it because I refused to move my seats? We have there were videos that popped up whereby the same Senate president in the 8th Assembly years back, he also had a brawl in the chambers because his seat was moved when he was not duly notified.
Right.
And his countenance, there was actually much more. In the Nigerian Senate, we have had senators gone physical on themselves, shouted, insulted, cursed, and even threw items at themselves. They were not suspended. So why me? I think I am just victimized. And that's the bigger picture of how women are treated in politics in Nigeria.
And could I
but
just
let me
ask
say
you,
this. Let me say this, very important. I am not the first woman to have accused the same man, Senator Akpabio, of sexual harassment. There is a lady in the corporate arena about 3 years ago. Her name is Joy Nonie. She was the MD of NDDC. She actually spoke that she had to slap him when he tried grabbing her in a hotel. So this is not an isolated case. But again, I'm saying this. I would want the courage that I have gotten to speak about this societal vice. I want it to be taken serious because there are a lot of women who are suffering, not just in politics, not just in the corporate arena, but in universities and many places. Women are sexually harassed, and there is no safe spaces for us to vent and seek justice.
Okay, thank you for that. And of course, God's